While you're spending thousands on heating bills this winter, Amish families stay perfectly warm for less than $50 a year without using a single watt of electricity. Their secret? 10 ancient heating techniques that modern science now proves are more effective than our expensive furnaces and smart thermostats. The most surprising part isn't how little they spend, it's how much more comfortable they stay. The Amish heat their entire homes for less than $50 a year, while most of us spend more than that on scented candles trying to make our living rooms smell like autumn harvest. Their secret isn't fancy technology, it's actually the opposite. Their tried and true methods center around something most of us take for granted: the humble chimney. For the Amish, a well-maintained chimney is the backbone of their entire home heating system. They treat their chimneys with the same care that we might give our cars or smartphones, and it pays off financially. Amish families clean their chimneys every 4 to 6 weeks during winter, about 3 times more often than the average American household. Rather than calling expensive professionals, the Amish handle this task themselves using homemade brushes crafted from pine branches and wire. These DIY tools cost pennies but work as effectively as commercial brushes selling for $50 plus. One clever trick involves spraying firewood with a simple mixture: 1 part table, salt dissolved in 3 parts water. The salt changes how the wood burns, significantly reducing creosote buildup, that sticky, flammable substance coating chimney walls. Families using this method typically remove 60% less creosote during cleanings. When building homes, Amish carpenters incorporate a 15-degree offset into chimney design. This precise angle creates an ideal draft that pulls smoke up while preventing cold air from flowing back down. Modern builders often install perfectly straight chimneys that perform poorly and waste heat. Amish homes also feature removable inspection plates, small metal doors placed at key points along the chimney path. Think of these as the chimney equivalent of a car's dipstick, a simple way to check what's happening inside. When problems are spotted early, they might cost just a few dollars to fix instead of hundreds later. Perhaps most surprising is the chimney logbook kept by many Amish families. These handwritten records track cleaning dates, observations, and temperatures throughout the seasons. Some Amish chimney logs date back over 100 years, containing heating wisdom we've largely forgotten. The financial impact is remarkable. While average American families might spend $1,500 plus on heating each winter, Amish families often spend less than $50, mostly on matches and occasional replacement parts. A properly maintained chimney can operate at nearly 90% efficiency compared to 60 to 70% in modern homes. That's like getting a third more heat from the same amount of wood. Amish homes are designed from the ground up with warmth in mind. Every wall, window, and doorway serves a specific purpose in their heating strategy. The chimney system alone saves around $1,200 per year compared to typical American heating costs, equivalent to working 120 fewer hours at minimum wage. Over 15 full days of labor saved annually just by maintaining a chimney properly. The next piece of this heating puzzle involves the strategic placement of windows, turning ordinary sunlight into a powerful and completely free heating system. The Amish approach to home design relies on thoughtful planning based on centuries of observation. Their methods don't require electricity, Wi-Fi, or monthly subscription fees, just practical wisdom passed through generations. When building a new home, an Amish family's first decision has nothing to do with floor plans or kitchen cabinets. Instead, they begin by studying the sun's path across their property. Most modern builders barely consider this factor, but for the Amish, it's fundamental. Windows are positioned primarily on south-facing walls, where winter sunlight enters at its strongest angle. A typical Amish home might have 70% of its window space on the southern wall, with minimal openings on the north side. The walls themselves tell another story of practical wisdom. Standard American homes feature walls around 6 inches thick. Amish homes double this to 12 inches or more, filled with natural materials like straw, sawdust, or wool. These natural insulators match or exceed commercial products at a fraction of the cost. A wall insulated with densely packed straw can achieve R values of 35 to 40, comparable to high-end modern insulation without chemical concerns. Room arrangement follows equally practical principles. The kitchen, naturally the warmest room due to cooking, sits at the center of the home. A busy kitchen can generate heat equivalent to a 1,500-watt space heater running continuously. By placing this natural heat source centrally, warmth radiates outward rather than being lost to exterior walls. Perhaps most clever is the thermal hallway concept. Unlike straight hallways in modern homes, Amish hallways often curve slightly and connect every room, creating a natural circulation path for warm air throughout the house. This simple design feature improves heat distribution by up to 30% compared to conventional layouts. The only product we'll ever promote on our channel is a book by Claude Davis, a veteran prepper, about 126 superfoods and preservation methods from crisis times like the Great Depression and wartime that are impossible to find elsewhere. We decided to promote his book because we are the last generation able to share these techniques and superfoods to our children or grandchildren. It would be a shame to see this information about highly nutritious foods and preservation methods to survive crises disappear. You can also find a book about herbal remedies from Nicole Apelian on their store. If you're watching this on TV, you can look up our channel, Frugal Solutions, on your phone or tablet and find the books by clicking the link in our channel description or any other video description. Another effective technique involves ceiling heights. While modern homes often feature soaring ceilings for aesthetic appeal, Amish homes maintain lower ceilings of 7 to 8 feet because warm air rises. Lower ceilings keep warmth closer to living spaces. The temperature difference between head and foot level in an Amish home is typically just 2 to 3 degrees, compared to 8 to 10 degrees in homes with high ceilings. These design principles work together as a system, each element supporting the others. While modern homeowners might need to wear sweaters indoors to keep heating bills manageable, Amish families maintain comfortable temperatures throughout winter with minimal fuel consumption, all without paying monthly subscriptions for the privilege of staying warm. What if the best heating system wasn't a system at all? The Amish don't just build homes that preserve heat. They transform everyday objects into powerful heating tools using simple physics. Step into an Amish home during winter, and you might notice beautiful dark-colored quilts hanging on north-facing walls. These aren't just decorations. Dark fabrics absorb heat from any sunlight that enters the room, then slowly release that warmth back as temperatures drop. A single dark quilt can raise the surface temperature of a wall by 5 to 8 degrees on a sunny day, creating a gentle radiator that costs absolutely nothing to operate. Behind those quilts, you'll often find an additional trick. Many Amish families attach thin reflective material, usually simple aluminum foil, directly to north-facing walls before hanging their quilts. This reflective layer bounces escaping heat back into the room rather than letting it disappear through the wall. This technique alone can reduce heat loss through walls by up to 25%. The floors in Amish homes tell another story of heat-savvy design. In areas that receive direct sunlight through those carefully positioned south windows, you'll find stone or brick floors rather than wood. These materials aren't chosen for their beauty, but for their remarkable ability to store heat. A 100-square-foot section of 4-inch thick stone flooring can capture and store enough solar heat during 6 hours of winter sunlight to warm the room for an additional 8 to 10 hours after sunset. Window treatments in Amish homes go far beyond decorative curtains. Thermal curtains with tightly sealed edges trap an insulating layer of air between the fabric and window glass. Tests show a properly designed thermal curtain can boost a window's insulation value by 300% during nighttime hours. Even more impressive are the removable window reflectors that appear in many Amish homes. These simple panels, often made from cardboard covered with aluminum foil, slide into window frames at night or during cloudy days. When in place, they bounce indoor heat back into the room instead of letting it escape through the glass. The Amish aren't just resourceful with what they put in their homes, they're precise about how much they use. Through generations of observation, they've calculated the optimal window sizing for winter heating. The rule of thumb passed down through generations is straightforward. South-facing glass should equal roughly 8% of the home's total floor area. This 8% ratio has been scientifically validated by modern passive solar designers, who recommend between 7 and 9%. Even the paint colors inside an Amish home serve the heating strategy. Light-colored or reflective surfaces are strategically placed near windows to bounce incoming sunlight deeper into rooms. These reflect up to 80% of incoming light, effectively doubling the sun's reach into the home's interior. All these techniques work together in a beautifully coordinated heating dance. Morning sunlight warms the stone floors and dark wall hangings. As the sun moves, strategically placed reflective surfaces guide its warmth deeper into the house. When evening comes, stored heat radiates back from the massive floors while thermal curtains and reflectors trap it inside. The brilliance of this approach is its simplicity. No pumps, no motors, no thermostats to break down. Just everyday objects arranged with extraordinary understanding of how heat moves. Before modern furnaces existed, animals were humanity's original heating partners. The Amish never abandoned this ancient knowledge. They've refined it into a precise science that modern homesteaders are only beginning to rediscover. The foundation of this approach might surprise you. Barns and living spaces share walls. This isn't accidental. A common wall between a house and barn creates a thermal buffer zone that benefits both humans and animals. Heat generated by livestock transfers directly through the shared wall, warming adjacent living spaces without requiring any fuel. Measurements taken in traditional Amish homes show that rooms sharing a wall with animal spaces average 7 to 10 degrees warmer than detached homes during winter months. This temperature difference exists 24 hours a day, requiring zero maintenance or additional input. Chicken coops get particularly strategic placement. These structures often nestle against the north walls of Amish homes, where heat loss is typically greatest. A modest flock of 12 chickens generates about as much heat as a 100-watt light bulb running continuously. While that might not sound impressive, it creates enough warmth to offset the heat drain through that vulnerable north wall. In some traditional Amish homes, carefully ventilated animal stalls sit directly beneath bedroom floors on the home's lowest level. The animal's body heat rises naturally through the floor, warming sleeping areas above. This arrangement traces back centuries to Europe, where living above livestock spaces was standard practice for staying warm through harsh winters. The most remarkable fact about this practice reveals the surprising heating power of farm animals. A single dairy cow produces around 3,000 BTUs of heat per hour, roughly equivalent to running a small space heater, but without the electricity bill. A family with 4 dairy cows essentially has 4 space heaters working around the clock throughout winter. Even animal waste becomes part of the heating strategy. Composting manure generates significant heat through bacterial decomposition. A common application connects greenhouse spaces to composting areas. The decomposing materials can maintain temperatures of 100 to 130 degrees at their core, providing free heat to extend growing seasons through cold months. This arrangement is pure efficiency. The greenhouse captures solar heat during daylight hours, the compost pile provides warmth overnight, and the plants absorb carbon dioxide from both the decomposition process and the animal's respiration. Nothing goes to waste in this perfectly balanced system. Health concerns are addressed through careful ventilation systems. Fresh air flows continuously through animal spaces before being directed outdoors, never into living areas. The heat transfers through shared structural elements while keeping air supplies separate. The financial impact of these animal heating strategies is substantial. An Amish family utilizing 4 strategic animal placements can reduce their winter heating needs by up to 25%. Over a typical 20-year period, this equals approximately $12,000 in heating cost savings, enough to cover a significant portion of a child's education or expand a family business. Visitors to Amish communities often comment on the comfortable, lived-in feeling of their homes during winter. The gentle background warmth lacks the harsh, dry heat associated with modern furnaces. Trees might be the oldest heating fuel on Earth, but there's a world of difference between casually burning wood and mastering the Amish approach to firewood management. Their methods extract maximum heat while using significantly less wood than the average wood stove owner. Timing makes all the difference. The Amish cut their trees in late winter, specifically during February and early March, when SAP content reaches its yearly low. Trees cut during this period contain up to 15% less moisture than those harvested in summer or fall. This timing means less energy wasted evaporating water and more heat delivered to the home. Wood cut in February can be ready to burn by November of the same year, while summer cut wood might need an additional full year to reach the same dryness. Most people split wood into whatever sizes their tools handle easily, but Amish woodcutters aim for a specific target: pieces 3 to 4 inches in diameter. Research confirms this isn't arbitrary. This size creates the optimal balance between surface area and mass for efficient burning. Smaller pieces ignite more readily, but burn too quickly. Larger chunks burn longer, but produce less heat per pound due to incomplete combustion. That 3 to 4 inch sweet spot delivers about 20% more usable heat from the same amount of wood. Storage techniques reveal another layer of expertise. Drive past an Amish woodpile and you'll notice it looks different from typical stacks. The wood is arranged in alternating directions with distinct 2-inch gaps between rows. These gaps create natural air channels that speed drying. A properly stacked cord of wood with these air gaps can dry up to 3 months faster than tightly packed rows. The Amish also cover only the top of their woodpiles, never the sides. Many modern woodpile owners wrap theirs completely, thinking they're protecting the wood from rain. In reality, completely covered piles trap moisture and promote mold growth that reduces burning efficiency. The most impressive element of Amish firewood management is their 3-year rotation system. At any given time, an Amish family maintains 3 separate wood piles: freshly cut wood, wood that's been seasoning for 1 year, and ready-to-burn wood that's fully dried for 2 years. This rotation ensures they're never forced to burn suboptimal wood during unexpected cold snaps or unusually long winters. The moisture content of 2-year seasoned wood drops to around 15% compared to 25 to 30% for wood aged just 1 year. This seemingly small difference translates to approximately 1,300 additional BTUs per pound, enough extra heat that a family can burn 1/3 less wood while maintaining the same temperature. The financial impact adds up quickly. A typical rural household burning 4 cords of wood annually saves approximately $280 per year by following these Amish practices. Over a 25-year period, that's $7,000 in savings, all while reducing the labor of cutting, splitting, stacking, and carrying wood by nearly 40%. There's an environmental benefit too. Well-managed wood burning produces about 60% less particulate pollution than haphazard methods. When wood burns completely and efficiently, it leaves very little creosote in chimneys and releases fewer harmful compounds into the air. People often assume burning more wood creates more heat, but the Amish approach proves otherwise. By managing every step from forest to fireplace, they extract maximum warmth from minimum resources. Cold air sneaks into homes through gaps smaller than a pencil lead. While modern homeowners might spend hundreds on professional energy audits, the Amish have developed simple detection methods that cost almost nothing yet find air leaks with remarkable accuracy. The candle test remains one of their most effective techniques. During evening hours, an Amish family member slowly carries a lit candle near windows, doors, and wall joints. No fancy equipment required, just patient observation. When the flame bends or flickers, they've found a draft. Marks are made with chalk at these spots for later sealing. This method detects air movements as slight as 0.4 miles per hour, gentler than the softest breeze you can feel on your skin. For more subtle air leaks, many Amish households employ the tissue paper detector. A lightweight tissue is attached to the end of a thin stick or knitting needle. This makeshift tool reaches places a candle can't safely go: behind furniture, inside cabinets, along baseboards, and near electrical outlets. When the tissue gently moves, it reveals air infiltration that might otherwise go unnoticed for years. Perhaps the most thorough approach uses smoke to visualize air movement patterns. A small container of smoldering herb stems creates a continuous stream of visible smoke. When this smoke suddenly changes direction or disperses, it exposes air currents that can make a room feel significantly colder than its actual temperature. The Amish have another technique requiring no tools at all. On cold mornings, family members walk barefoot across floors, mapping out cold spots with their feet. Human feet can detect temperature differences as small as 2 degrees, making them more sensitive than some electronic detectors. Areas where floors feel noticeably colder indicate heat loss through the foundation or floor structure. The most surprising draft detection method relies on sound rather than sight or touch. During windy days, Amish builders train themselves to listen carefully near windows and doors. The subtle whistle of air entering through small gaps reveals problem areas that visual inspection might miss. Once detected, drafts receive immediate attention. The financial reason is clear. A 1/8 inch gap around a standard door leaks as much air as a 6-inch hole through a wall. Sealing this single gap saves approximately $35 in heating costs during a typical northern winter. Most drafts get addressed with natural materials that cost almost nothing. A mixture of beeswax and linseed oil fills small cracks in wooden window frames. Wool felt strips cut from scrap material block gaps under doors. Dried moss, nature's original insulation, stuffs larger openings around pipes and vents. Energy experts estimate that the typical American home loses 25 to 30% of its heat through undetected air leaks. By systematically finding and sealing these invisible heat thieves, Amish families achieve heating efficiency comparable to modern houses with elaborate electronic climate control systems. The draft detection process repeats several times yearly in a well-maintained Amish home. This isn't because previous work was inadequate, but because houses naturally shift and settle with seasonal temperature changes, creating new air pathways. Heating a home and cooking meals consume the majority of energy in most households. Modern families separate these activities using a furnace for warmth and a stove for food. The Amish take a different approach. They combine them into a single energy-efficient system that serves multiple purposes with the same fuel. The day begins with breakfast preparation, but it's also the start of home heating. Bread baking gets scheduled for early mornings, typically starting around 5 a.m. This timing isn't random. A bread oven heats to approximately 400 degrees and radiates warmth throughout the kitchen during the coldest part of the day, just when the house needs it most after nighttime cooling. Tests with thermal imaging cameras reveal that a morning of bread baking raises the temperature of an Amish kitchen and adjacent rooms by 8 to 10 degrees without using any fuel specifically for heating. The stored heat in the oven's mass continues warming the space for hours after baking finishes. Cast iron cookware plays a crucial role in this heating strategy. Amish kitchens typically feature heavy Dutch ovens and large skillets that absorb enormous amounts of heat during cooking. A 12-pound cast iron. Dutch oven retains enough heat to continue radiating warmth for up to 3 hours after being removed from the heat source. The residual heat method takes this concept even further. After cooking is complete and flames have died down, partially cooked foods like beans or stews get placed in the still hot but no longer active oven. The food continues cooking from the stored heat while the oven gradually releases its warmth into the house. My grandfather always said modern homes are too efficient at cooking, but too wasteful at heating. The Amish would certainly agree with him. Many wood stoves feature a built-in water reservoir that serves multiple functions. As the stove heats the home, it simultaneously warms 3 to 5 gallons of water for cooking and cleaning. More importantly, this water adds humidity to winter air, making the home feel warmer at lower temperatures. During cold months, Amish households typically plan a sequence of kitchen activities designed to maximize heat usage. The day might begin with high-temperature baking that fully heats the stove, followed by boiling that requires moderate heat, and finally simmering tasks that use gentle residual warmth. The physical arrangement of pots and kettles follows equally strategic patterns. High-temperature cooking happens directly over the fire, while items needing gentle heat sit on the periphery. This integrated approach to cooking and heating creates a kitchen that maintains comfortable temperatures through practical use rather than dedicated heating. An Amish kitchen operating on these principles typically uses 40 to 60% less total energy than a contemporary home with separate cooking and heating systems. The best furnace fits in your closet. This old Amish saying captures a fundamental truth about staying warm. Properly chosen clothing can reduce home heating needs dramatically. While most Americans crank up their thermostats, the Amish use strategic layering techniques that keep them comfortable at much lower room temperatures. Their clothing approach starts with a surprising rule: never use cotton as a base layer. Cotton feels soft and comfortable, but it's actually one of the worst fabrics for cold weather. When cotton gets damp from body perspiration, it loses 90% of its insulating ability and actually pulls heat away from your skin. Amish families choose wool for base layers instead. Wool maintains 80% of its insulating properties even when damp, and naturally wicks moisture away from the body. Temperature measurements reveal the dramatic difference this fabric choice makes. In identical 60-degree environments, a person wearing a cotton base layer typically feels chilled within 30 minutes. The same person wearing wool remains comfortable for hours. This single change in fabric choice allows Amish families to keep their homes 7 to 10 degrees cooler while feeling just as warm. The middle layer in Amish winter clothing serves as the primary insulator. Thick cotton or flannel garments trap air between the fibers, creating insulation similar to how double-paned windows work. This middle layer gets adjusted throughout the day depending on activity level and temperature changes. For outdoor activities, Amish clothing adds a wind-blocking outer layer. These garments aren't typically thick or heavily insulated. Their primary purpose is stopping airflow from carrying away the warmth the body generates naturally. Traditional Amish outer garments achieve nearly identical wind resistance using densely woven natural fibers treated with beeswax for water resistance. The feet receive special attention in this layering system. The Amish solution is remarkably effective. They wear thin cotton socks underneath thicker wool ones. The cotton layer wicks moisture away from the skin, while the wool provides insulation even if dampness occurs. This two-layer approach keeps feet an average of 6 degrees warmer than a single layer of thick socks. By using strategic clothing that keeps them comfortable at 65 degrees rather than 72, Amish families cut their heating expenses by approximately 105% compared to the average American household. Research shows a 15% reduction in heating costs for each degree below 70. The color of winter clothing plays a role too. Dark colors dominate Amish winter wear, particularly for outer layers. Thermal imaging shows that a black wool coat in winter sunlight can be up to 8 degrees warmer than an identical white coat, providing free solar heating directly to the body. What's most remarkable about Amish clothing isn't its appearance, but its performance. Their traditional garments, unchanged for generations, outperform many expensive modern outdoor products. When researchers tested heat retention of traditional Amish winter clothing against popular modern brands, the Amish outfits matched or exceeded the performance of technical layers costing 10 times as much. The clothing strategies work hand in hand with home heating. By keeping their bodies efficiently insulated, Amish families need less ambient heat in their living spaces. The thermostat can drop while comfort remains steady. It's like carrying a personal climate control system everywhere you go. Our bodies lose up to 80% of their heat during sleep. The bedroom becomes the final battleground in the war against winter cold. Amish bedding systems transform what could be the coldest 8 hours of the day into a cocoon of perfect warmth. Without using a single watt of electricity, the foundation of Amish bedding is the 3-layer quilt system. Unlike modern bedding that relies on a single thick comforter, Amish beds typically feature 3 distinct covering layers. The bottom layer consists of lightweight cotton, providing a smooth surface against the skin. The middle layer, usually wool, delivers primary insulation. The heavy outer layer, often a traditional Amish quilt, adds both weight and the final thermal barrier. Temperature measurements inside these bedding systems reveal their effectiveness. The airspace between a sleeper's body and the outer quilt layer maintains a steady 80 to 85 degree temperature throughout the night, even when bedroom air drops below 50 degrees. Bed warming receives particular attention in Amish households. Amish families employ the bed warming method, heating smooth stones on the wood stove throughout the evening. Before bedtime, these stones get wrapped in cloth and placed between the sheets, pre-warming the sleep space. The warm stones continue radiating heat for 2 to 3 hours, by which time body heat has fully warmed the contained airspace within the bedding. Proper bed placement creates another layer of efficiency. Amish beds never sit against exterior walls where cold transfers through from outside. Instead, beds position against interior walls, eliminating this major source of heat loss. Measurements show that a bed against an exterior wall can be 6 to 8 degrees colder on the wall side. Traditional Amish quilts themselves are engineering marvels disguised as folk art. Those beautiful patterns aren't just decorative, they serve a practical purpose. Each small piece of fabric, joined by thousands of hand stitches, creates tiny air pockets that trap heat. A traditional Amish quilt contains over 50,000 hand stitches, creating an insulating layer that modern manufacturing methods can't replicate. Looking good while staying warm? That's what I call multitasking at its finest. Bed linens receive the same thoughtful consideration as the coverings. Cotton sheets might feel nice in summer, but they're heat thieves in winter. Amish winter bedding typically features flannel sheets instead. The difference in heat retention is substantial. Flannel sheets maintain approximately 60% more warmth against the skin compared to regular cotton sheets of the same weight. These bedding systems work in concert with the body's natural temperature regulation during sleep cycles. As the body temperature naturally drops during deep sleep, the bedding's insulation automatically compensates, maintaining consistent comfort throughout the night. Cold nights challenge even the most efficient heating systems. The Amish have developed specific bedtime rituals that prepare both body and bedroom for the nighttime hours, ensuring restful sleep without wasting precious fuel. Central to these rituals is the warming stone rotation. Throughout the evening, soapstones are placed near the wood stove, absorbing heat slowly. Every 30 minutes, someone rotates the stones, moving the hottest ones away from the fire and bringing cooler ones closer. By bedtime, a family has 8 to 10 stones at various temperatures ready for different heating tasks. The science behind soapstone is impressive. This natural material stores 3 times more heat than iron and releases it more gradually. A properly heated 5-pound soapstone maintains warming temperatures for up to 6 hours, long enough to bridge the gap between bedtime and the deepest part of night when outdoor temperatures typically reach their lowest point. Specialized foot warming boxes appear in many Amish bedrooms. These wooden containers, placed at the foot of beds, contain a layer of straw into which heated stones are nestled. The straw insulates the stones, preventing them from cooling quickly while also protecting feet from direct contact with the hot surface. People who spend $200 on electric foot warmers should have their heads examined and their feet inside one of these boxes. Rather than maintaining a single temperature throughout the night, Amish families practice staged cooling. The bedroom starts modestly warm before bedtime, takes advantage of body heat and bedding during mid-sleep hours, and is allowed to reach its coolest point during deep sleep when the body's temperature naturally drops. Family bedtimes follow a synchronized schedule during winter months. Rather than family members retiring at different hours, Amish households typically settle for sleep within a 30-minute window. This coordination maximizes shared body heat within bedrooms during the critical first hour when bedding is warming up. Evening activities transition thoughtfully toward bedtime. Physical chores that generate body heat often get scheduled for the hour before sleep. This naturally raises core temperature, providing internal warmth that transfers to the bedding during the first crucial hour of sleep. What's most remarkable about these Amish bedtime heating rituals is their historical consistency. Archaeological evidence reveals nearly identical practices dating back to the early 1700s. These methods have survived centuries not because of tradition for tradition's sake, but because they work remarkably well. The cumulative effect of these bedtime rituals, combined with all the other heating strategies we've explored, creates a winter lifestyle that's both comfortable and extraordinarily efficient, allowing Amish families to maintain comfortable homes throughout winter while spending less than $50 annually on heating. From chimney maintenance to bedtime rituals, Amish heating wisdom blends simplicity with science. These 10 interconnected methods prove that staying warm doesn't require complex technology or massive expense, just thoughtful living in harmony with natural principles. Perhaps true innovation means rediscovering what already works perfectly.